Systems shouldn't get in our way. They should help us do our job, but learning those tools can feel heavier than it should. Too many topics, too many best practices, especially in the ever-changing Atlassian ecosystem. Not here. You're tuned in to the only frequency that doesn't crash your spirits or your Jira board. Atlassian Learning, simplified. Welcome to Heen.tech. Heen.tech for your learning needs. Heen.tech. Less noise, more clarity. Heen.tech. Fix the system, fix the flow. Heen.tech. Ready, let's go!
Oh, I always appreciate that intro from my good buddy Sajit. Welcome, folks. We are getting started with our ACH-820. Is that right, Kristján?
Yes, that is correct. Are you ready, partner?
I sure am, my friend. My vineyard. Did I say that right? All right, there's a quick poll in the chat, folks. Respond. Where are you? Respond in the chat with a 1 if you're in the Americas, North or South, 2 for EMEA, 3 for Asia, and 4 for Oceania. That would be our friends over in Australia, New Zealand, that area of the world. All right. I'm excited for this. We'll talk about this certification, why it exists in just a minute. But first, there's a very important thing we have to go over. Do you remember what that thing is, my friend?
I think it's something to do with nourishment.
Yes. I know I can't learn on an empty stomach. So to help folks out, we have a little raffle. I'm going to put a link in our chat. It also is the QR code up at the top right now. Tell them about the raffle. What are they going to win? What fabulous prizes are there?
Oh, we have 5 unique gift cards, each for $25. So you can use that to buy some food on Grubhub or Uber Eats or whatever you want to do. And so you have food to chow down on as you study with us. So
Awesome.
5 lucky participants are going to be able to win those.
Yeah, so raffling off 5 $25 gift cards for food to help you study or celebrate or whatever. QR code at the top. It's in the chat as well. No purchase necessary and all that. But while you are signing up for that to hopefully win your free food, we're going to talk a little bit about the certification or their credential. I'm sorry. It's not a certification. It's a certificate. The reason I have Kristján with me is he actually led the team that helped build this thing. And I got to be part of that team as a subject matter expert. So I'm going to let Kristján take it away a bit with what this is for. And I can see we have at least a dozen hungry people so far. So I'll keep watching chat, Kristján, but if you could give us a couple minutes on what the ACH-820 is, who it's for, why it's an ACH and not an ACA, anything else about it.
Okay, sure. So ACH is the entry-level exams that Atlassian has. They have 3 different levels. A certificate holder is the entry-level one, and it's an introduction to the subject that it covers. Like we have an ACH for Rovo, ACH for Loom, and GSM, and so forth. So, but this one is about cloud, the cloud apps. So it's a foundation that gives you a very, very broad view of Atlassian portfolio. It doesn't touch on everything, but it talks about a lot of the apps that Atlassian has. So an introduction to it. So it's not very deep exam, and it can be because there's so many apps to work with in this, as well as other things to learn about the Atlassian Cloud platform. But it gives you the overview. So just looking at it, I'm reading off a little bit here. It's for someone who regularly uses one or more Atlassian Cloud apps and understands at a basic level what each core app is, what it's used for, and how they work together. But it also includes how to navigate the interface and how to find help in enablement resources in the Atlassian ecosystem, including Atlassian Learning, Atlassian Community, official documentation, and support. It touches on Rovo, Atlassian's AI, and also a little bit about configuration administration. So it's just kind of a Atlassian Platform 101, if you like.
Yeah, and I like the 101 aspect because the ACA, the first certification, says 6 to 12 months of experience using these things, and many people either don't have that experience or they don't want to go that in depth. So I personally appreciate how the ACH has been made available and making it the information easier for folks to access. All right, we're up to about 25 respondents. I'm going to put this link in there one more time, folks. That link is where you can sign up for your gift card. I'll put this in our LinkedIn chat as well for our friends there.
So 25, wow.
You have a 1 in 5 chance if you sign up right now, folks.
Those 25 that signed up already, maybe they're blocking the other people from signing up.
All right, so thank you for that intro. Now, as we go, folks, in the chat, drop your questions or comments around the ACH, around Atlassian. Kristján and I will do our best to help them. After we do this quick raffle, we're going to go through the official learning path that Atlassian has. We're going to go forth between that, which is free and accessible to everyone, and a demo instance I have to kind of show you how some of these things work, or show you Community, or explain the apps. And then in the last 45 minutes of this will be time for us all to take this exam together. The ACH, they're entirely free and they're open book. So you could take it with a friend. We're not going to show you exact answers, but you can ask questions in chat if you have a challenge, and Kristján or I or other people in chat can help you out.
Another thing too is when we take this together, then we can go through the hurdle of registering and help each other get logged in and all that process, the red tape.
Yep, 100%. All right, Kristján, if you want to get your random number generator up.
Yes.
For those of you who know Kristján, he's big into the 80s aesthetic, and he has found an amazing way to select our winner, or at least something that I am highly amused by.
Yeah, top, hang on. Let me see if I can't get this here. Oh my gosh.
And we're up to 41 people, so.
Okay. Here we go. Am I sharing the screen?
I see us now. There we go.
There we go. 41 people? Is that what it's going to be?
41. Yep, that's how many I have.
Okay. Make sure you turn up the volume for a little bit here. And we go now. Woohoo!
All right. If you are one of these lucky winners, I'll send these emails to Kristján. He'll send you an email with all the information on how to claim your amazing prize. All right. And on that note, I quickly need to...
Are you stop sharing my screen? There we go.
Let's get you out of there. There we go. All right, folks, we are going to switch gears. I'm going to show my screen, and we're going to be looking at, again, the official learning path. This is what all of you can use to learn this content. You can share this with teammates. You can use this during the exam itself. So when you're taking the exam, you can pop this thing open to get through it. So I'm going to share this link in chat. I'm also going to replace our QR code. Amelia, this is not the Powerball numbers, unfortunately. Here's the learning path. This page also contains where you will sign up to take the exam. So keep in mind, once we get there, you'll use this same page. I'll remind you all and walk you through that exact process. I'll also get rid of the where are you poll. During this, I'm also going to put some questions that Kristján and I thought up to test your knowledge on this. Here is our landing page. This is the Cloud Fundamentals. And what's important to think about as we start this studying, and I'll zoom in on this, is the exam breakdown. When we take this exam in a little over an hour, 68% of the questions are around apps and integrations. So this is a great indication that we're going to spend a lot of time on apps and integrations. And then about 15% on subscriptions management and community support. Again, it's intended for end users, beginners, people looking to understand how does the Atlassian Cloud work. So a big focus is going to be on what apps are there? How are they different? We are not going to get into how to set them up. Again, this is not the technical hands-on. This is more just making sure we're all aware of how these things work. Okay, scroll down here to the bottom. We're looking for Start Preparing for Free. And there are all these great on-demand courses. There's a lot in here. We're going to start with just Explore the Cloud. And again, we're going to spend a little bit of time in here and a lot of time in a hands-on instance. But starting with the cloud, Kristján, could you tell us a bit about what it is, how it's set up, anything you think folks should know about this exam?
Well, it's based, so it's only about the cloud, Atlassian apps in the cloud, right? And it's, well, no, it's run by Atlassian, so companies do not have to have their own admins to run the cloud infrastructure, right? So once you sign up for Atlassian app in the cloud, then you get access to it in the cloud. As a backup or as a help, you have Atlassian support, and those are the admins, the DB admin or system admin that will do the stuff on the backside. But you will have access to the application layer through the cloud administration.
Yeah, and that's a massive advantage for companies. For our exam, one thing we need to keep in mind is end users have a number of resources to get help, but typically we as end users can't be putting in support tickets directly to Atlassian. So Kristján mentioned that there is a great Atlassian support team, but usually your org admin is the one who's going to do that. A great question in chat. I don't know the answer. Can you take the exam on a mobile device?
Oh, I don't think so. So Certiverse only supports certain browsers, Chrome, Microsoft Edge. I think those two are supported. So it gets all. I don't think you can take it on. Sorry.
All right, that is a great question.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think they're all, you got to be on a desktop, unfortunately. But
feature request for sure.
Yep. The Atlassian Cloud, though, is a collection of different apps, they're called. Now, in the past, these might have been called products, but you'll see the term app show up everywhere, including on the exam. You know, what app does blank? And that's a clue that, oh, it's talking about a cloud application. There are some big ones. Jira and Confluence are probably the two most widely known, or at least the ones that most people have probably heard of or used, but there's a lot of other ones. The exam is going to test us on generally what they can do. So quickly in chat, what does Bitbucket do? Someone help me out. What does Bitbucket do? Now, just as a way to engage, but I know Jira and Confluence. Jira is the work management. I've got tasks. Kristján and I want to put on this training, and I assign him a task to write some questions. Great. Jira can do that. Kristján wrote his questions. He put it in Confluence to share knowledge. Agastya is saying it's the GitHub of Atlassian. I like that description. I'm seeing some other great responses. It's code. Yeah. Now, I bring up Bitbucket because I've never used it. So this particular exam is going to push our knowledge, especially for the products maybe we don't use. So for the next hour or so, we're going to go over some of these products that maybe you haven't touched on. But I like that GitHub of Atlassian. All right, who uses Trello? I'm going to put another just poll I made up off the top of my head. Do you use Trello? Yes.
I'm working on sending out these gift cards.
Thank you, my friend. All right, so a quick poll in chat. Do you use Trello? Another app that we're going to see pop up. Trello is a task management tool. We can think of it as the more approachable version of Jira. I always hesitate to say lighter weight because it does pack a pretty good punch. But if I'm looking at these apps, I see Jira as being, you know, the corporate level. I've got to plan out big projects or big software stuff. Some people like it. You can respond to the poll either in chat, just type in some text, or respond to the 1 for all the time, a 2 for once or twice, and a 3, I've never used Trello. What is that? A lot of yeps, a lot of nopes. I personally never used Trello until I started using Jira. I was like, wait, there's this other Trello thing. What is that? So right now, again, we're just orienting on some of the bigger apps. We'll see some other apps pop up, and there's going to be some that I didn't know Atlassian had. I'll call those out as we go, that we might see on the exam. I like this one. A comment about Trello. I don't use it, but my wife does in her nonprofit. One important thing about this is all of these apps serve a purpose, and the purpose may not fit your need. So you might use Jira all day, every day, and then you go, I don't need Trello because I got Jira. But keep in mind, the point of this certificate is to broaden our knowledge to make sure we understand a wide range of stuff. Anne has a different option for Trello, not anymore. Fair. But we also got to think, like, why the cloud? Kristján mentioned a massive advantage. We don't have to manage the servers. So when we think of, like, I was going to say like the internet like 10 years ago, you'd have a box in your office that ran your company's website and you had to maintain it. Everything in the cloud takes care of that. We'll talk about support a bit, but the focus here is more on what runs in it and why do we use it. We use the cloud because it's all interconnected. So there are integrations we'll see in the cloud. Some very obvious ones that always come to my mind is like copying information out of Jira and dropping it in Confluence, or automatically linking a Bitbucket repository of code into Jira, or including status page information from a Jira service management work item. Status page is one of those apps I didn't know existed. Liz is saying, Liz, is your comment around Trello big on game development? Is that about Trello or something else? Also, shout out to Kythra, friend of the channel, one of my moderators. I'm going to rely on you, my friend, to help me out. And some of my channel members, we've got Anne and some others in here. And I see some other names like Liz. You show up in a lot of these. I'll encourage you as we're going to everyone, share your perspective. So as we're talking about how to use Rovo, how have you used it? How can you help other people? And this is another app that shows up quite a bit. Rovo is Atlassian's AI tool. You'll see questions around, what can Rovo help us do? Again, we're not going to see questions on build an agent, but we might have a question on when can an agent help us? We might get questions on Trello, like, a team is working, a team is using an Atlassian app and needs a more sophisticated way to manage projects. What might they be doing? Oh, they could go from Trello to Jira, or Jira to Align, or something else. So again, right now we're just on the generalities of cloud. So many of us have a lot more specifics. I see some folks who have the ACPs, which is the admin level stuff in here. Yep, sorry, you're good, Liz. Now, as you go through these learning paths, we also have these quizzes. Take these quizzes if you're following along, or if you're doing this later. They'll test your knowledge a bit. They simulate the exam. Now, the exam will be a bit different than this. These questions have 4 possible answers. Our exam's only going to have 3. So you get a 1 in 3 chance. Yes, Kristján?
Yeah, exactly. And it has one key and 2 destructors. So 1 right answer and 2 incorrect answers, instead of possibly having 2 or more correct answers.
All right. So so the key then is the correct answer, the one thing we want. And one thing to know about the key and the questions, I helped write some of these. So we did our best to make sure they're not going to trick you. The goal of these exams is to help you be successful.
Yeah.
So we're not going to make up answers. When Kristján puts a question in, he's not going to invent a new feature or invent a new product. It's going to be an actual thing that exists, and you just have to know the difference. So here's one question for us. Just a sample as we're talking. Take a look at this. What does an admin use to enforce governance policies? Now, I forgot to add it. I don't know. I can only do 4 answers, but if you think it's teamwork graph, put a 1. If it's assets, put a 2. If it's guard, put a 3. Or in chat, just say something like, Rob, what even is that? This one for me was another example of something I didn't know. So I'm going to go back on our learning path. And very quickly, I'm going to go over to a demo instance, and we're going to look at some of these apps just so we can see them. Again, you don't have to know how to use them. You don't really have to know the buttons. You have to generally know what they're for. I see people all pounding 3. All right, that's guard, whatever guard is. For one of those many people who are putting in 3, could you briefly describe guard for other people? Like, what does that thing do? I know what a guard is, the person who stands outside a building. Is that what, do we hire a guard to guard our cloud?
I think about a football guard. Like, is that a position in football?
Or in sports.
Yeah.
Okay. Liz has a good point too. I only know this because it was on another exam I took, and I've never used guard. So right now we're looking at Jira as people are answering this guard question. Jira, the things that are important to know about it. Kristján, could you describe Jira to the audience, just on a high level?
High level, Jira. So it's basically a ticketing system where you can create tickets, issues, work items, whatever you want to call them. And you can organize them, and then you can assign them to different people. You can have overview. So it's great for project management. It can be great for anything, really. I mean, think about a garage, auto shop. You bring in your cars. Somebody takes down your name and number, and Phil creates a ticket. Okay, what do we need to do? Oil change or fix the muffler or whatever it is. that becomes a ticket, and then the ticket is processed in the system, and when the car is ready, it pops up and done, and then you're called up and say, hey, your car's done. You owe us this much because the cost has been put on the ticket as well. So it's basically ticketing system.
Yeah, and it's any kind of work. So
Yeah.
we may see questions around tracking software development. We might see questions just around tracking information. In this example, I've got like employee onboarding. So an HR team is using it. The things in this is called a space, just a collection of work, and the work are called work items. I'm bringing out these terms because they may or may not show up on the exam, but just note that Jira is all around tracking our work and organizing it in different ways.
And it could be like a company I worked in, they used Jira for everything almost. It was like a catering request from the kitchen. We're going to have customers in meeting room 5B. It could be, conference requests. I need to go to a conference. I need to get approval from my manager and put cost on it. So it can be all kinds of things.
All right. I'm seeing a lot of great definitions of guard. There's a standard and enterprise version. So we haven't talked about this yet in cloud, but there's different versions or different tiers is the term. Now, these tiers are important on the support side. We'll come back to this as we go. What else about guard? Data and user protection, like good audit logs. Sorry, Amelia, I had to ask, are there bad audit logs? There are, yeah. And your follow-up. So guard is a product that provides more security, more authentication. When we're thinking of our exam as beginners, anything around controlling access or adding like single sign-on is probably relating to guard.
Yeah, some kind of criteria for signing on. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So this is Jira, again, our work management. Another big one is Confluence. And so far, everyone said guard in our poll. So I'm just going to highlight that.
Yeah. So Confluence. Okay, moving on to Confluence. The way I in the beginning when I was learning, the way I thought of Jira and Confluence difference, like in 2010, 2011, when I first started to use Atlassian products, was that Confluence was like more of a documentation, like a book, pages, stuff you write, processes, decision that you come to make a product or make a solution or whatever, meeting notes, things like that. Kind of nice. It's the written part, like Microsoft Word, if you like. It's where you write stuff, whereas Jira is where you organize the work into smaller segments and work on those pieces.
I like that one. I initially called Confluence a knowledge base because I didn't have a better term. I'm going to drop a quick poll in the chat. Now, hopefully it's, I'm covering up my own head here. Hopefully it's fairly self-evident given on what we're looking at, but where would a team store things like decisions and meeting notes? Respond to the 1 for Confluence, a 2 for DX, a 3 for status page, and a 4 for no clue. And while we're looking at DX, if you know what that is, let me know in chat. We'll come back to it. But Confluence is, if I think of Jira is where my work is, Confluence is where my knowledge is. And this is going to drive me nuts. Thanks for the support, Kristján. Love that. Can I move it?
There we go. Rearrange. Oh, there we go. Oh. There we go.
So anytime I have questions around, like we're seeing in chat, like where do we store information? It's probably Confluence. Typically groups that use Jira also use Confluence. So my first experience was with both of these systems together. But you can't have them separately. So there's a similar concept between them. The term space could apply to Confluence. There probably is not going to be a question on the exam that says a space and is ambiguous. So again,
we try not to. We try really hard to not have them. The idea with these questions is not to trick or to test on endurance. It is to test on actual knowledge.
Yeah. I won't really dig into DX, but Lena Padawan got it. I would have given you bonus points for an uppercase X in experience. But DX is replacing an older product called Compass. So developer experience. So I threw that one in there just as a way to bring it up. But Confluence, again, is our knowledge base where we're storing information. Jay Connors nailed it. Jira also has the term space. So Confluence organizes its content into spaces.
Mm-hmm.
and those spaces have content in them. There's a lot more to spaces, but for this exam, again, we're beginners. We just need to understand,
Yeah.
oh, I've got content that goes in Confluence. I've got work that goes in Jira. Any other high-level points we should share with the group, Kristján, about Confluence versus Jira?
Well, you mentioned also, just to underline what you mentioned earlier with Trello, Jira and Trello are similar, but maybe Trello could be defined as for personal productivity, project management tool, whereas Jira is more of a bigger team. Larger.
Yeah. And thank you for bringing me back to that. This is Trello. So, and this is where I always hesitate to say it's the younger sibling of Jira, because you can do a lot with Trello. This particular board I've set up, or it has lists. So if I'm taking an exam and it mentions lists of things, that's a clue that we're talking about Trello. But typically when I think of Trello, it's a little bit more approachable. This user interface looks cleaner and easier for me to jump into than something like this. This is a board in Jira. It helps me track work, but this is a bit easier.
And one of the reasons why this is more clean, if you look at it, by the way, kudos for the background picture. It looks awesome. I wonder where that is taken. But if you go back to Jira and see that there's more clutter, one of the reasons why it's more clutter, if you like of a better word, is because Jira has more functionality. There are more reports, there are things you can do in Jira, and therefore you have to have a bigger menu and you have to place that somewhere. Whereas in Trello, it's maybe a little more simpler. Like, still, both of them great tools, but maybe different business cases that they fulfill.
Yes, and that's a great call out that probably shows up on our exam nudge, but also is just practically useful. Like, we've got a business case for Jira, more complicated, and teams may start off in Trello and then realize, oh, we need a little bit more.
Like smaller teams, simpler needs that they have might start there, but then when you need more reporting or bigger team or need to work with other teams, then you might have a need to go over to Jira.
Yeah. Good question in chat from SK. Does Jira or Confluence, what's the trade-off? They're different things entirely. Yeah. So if I'm purely Scrum managing work, I'm in Jira. However, my retrospectives, the documents I make at the end of a sprint, or my team planning docs, go into Confluence. So there's no real trade-off. They're just different tools. Sometimes I need the hammer. Sometimes I need the screwdriver. Sometimes I need the saw. Sometimes I need a shoe.
Or a bigger hammer. Another thing too to think about is that they integrate. Am I jumping the gun here, Rob?
Not at all.
Jira and Confluence, they integrate quite nicely. So you might start off in Confluence to define the work and have meeting notes, things like that. But then as you move onto the phase of organizing all these words, this goal that you have into actionable tasks, then you move into Jira and you can actually create Jira work items within Confluence and you can view them there, vice versa. So they integrate quite well, these two tools.
Yes, and that's a great point just to have in our minds practically. So when I work with a group using any one of these tools made by Atlassian, it's very easy to copy and paste links between them. It's very easy to share data between all these cloud apps. And that's out of the box. Like, that just works. I don't have to go program anything. All right, another leading question. Do you weave? I'll put this in parentheses. Who uses Loom? I'm trying to make it a thing where we call the verb of using Loom weaving.
You want to become a master weaver, don't you?
IFAT, don't know if I'm saying that right. Compass is being retired, I believe. So DX, developer experience, is replacing that. Yeah. So we won't see Compass on this exam. We might see similar questions around how do we manage our software and our developer experience with DX. So I can't show DX. I'm not a developer, but any question around managing code, enhancing how our people make code, classifying it, probably DX.
Yeah, and engineering intelligence. It's gathering the intelligence to help engineers find bottlenecks and improve the productivity of engineers think of DX for that.
So our next one is Loom. Loom is our asynchronous video collaboration tool, I think is the official video communication tool. It's right on the screen. So
mouthful.
Confluence is great. Usually we think of static knowledge. I'm typing in information. I've got links. Loom lets us record video. This could be a screen share. This could be a meeting note. This could be a meeting summary. I first use this to record product updates. So instead of having everyone join a meeting and just me babble on about, oh, we updated this and we added that feature, I just made a Loom recording and shared that out. And like Kristján was saying, I put that in Confluence. So I have my written notes, but you could also just watch a 1-minute video. And
it's great also for feedback. Because think about how often you're writing back and forth that, no, I meant this thing. Oh, sorry, I misunderstood you. Instead, you just record a short Loom of the screen and you click here and click there, and then I get this error. So it's super, super fast and nice to use.
Yeah, there's a lot of great features in Loom. The core of it, though, is that ability to record and share information. So as a beginner, I think of Loom anytime I want to replace a meeting. I think of Loom anytime I have something I want to show and tell. So put that in back of our minds when we hit this exam, there's probably going to be questions on this tool because it does serve a pretty important purpose. Oh, wow. Amelia used Loom to prep for sprint reviews. Amazing.
Cool. Nice use case.
Liz is saying they met someone who programmed their own Loom. That's amazing.
Oh, okay.
Another thing to consider, there's many different tools that do similar things. So again, the purpose of this 820 is for us to focus on the Atlassian tool set, but practically your team may use other similar tools. So our job today isn't to tell you like Loom is the best for anything, although I think it's pretty good. It's more just to make us aware of generally what these things are used for, so we can make an informed decision, so we can understand if we see them, what they're for.
And the integration in the Atlassian platform. So that's one thing that this exam talks a lot about or tests on is the integration between those apps. So, and that's why we're talking about them. We're not talking about, because we're focused on the Atlassian platform, not other tools. And that's the exam is about.
100%. I'm seeing a lot of great chat in the chat, which is good. I've also got a Discord community and also show us the Atlassian Community to continue these discussions. But if you're looking for more, join us over in Discord. A lot of the voices you're seeing in chat are already in there and sharing a lot of great information, not just necessarily about certifications, credentials, that kind of thing. Also, if you're liking this, I'm an independent content creator, so hit the thumbs up button down at the bottom. Easiest way to support me. So find a little thumbs up while I drink some coffee. And Kristján, do you have a beverage of some flavor?
I do. I have a non-Icelandic water. It tastes okay.
Non-Icelandic water. Do you have to specify non-Icelandic?
Because no, I just thought I'd do it.
I like this point from Jay Connors. We embed Loom videos for project orientation and onboarding. That is an amazing use case.
Yeah, that's excellent.
All right. So that's Loom. So when I think of video, when I think of replacing meetings, I always think Loom. Next up is our friend Rovo, R-O-V-O. Just going to drop a quick question. Do you use Rovo? Yep.
Was ist das?
What now?
Rovo, was ist das? What is Rovo? Okay, yep.
Yeah, could you explain it, Kristján? What is Rovo? Help us understand.
Yes. So Rovo is the artificial intelligence that Atlassian has made, and it pops up in a lot of apps actually. So you can use Rovo as a standalone for chat, for example, but it also shows up in these other apps like Jira and Confluence. You can use Rovo to summarize text, summarize news comments on the Jira work item. If you have what we often do, I have the blank page problem. When you're starting to write something in Confluence, then you could use Rovo to help you get over that by brainstorming some ideas. So yeah, so it's just a few of many things that Rovo can do.
Yeah. Now there's a whole separate ACH just for Rovo. So there's a whole separate free certificate. I walked a group through it a week or two ago. I'll do it again. Definitely worth your time if your organization has Rovo. Some things to know about it. It's got three main, I call it the three pillars of Rovo. We've got search, chat, and agents. So when I see questions or when I'm talking to someone about, how do I speed up finding things? How do I ask a natural language question? How do I generate content? And this could be make a ticket in Jira. This could be make a page in Confluence, all these other things. Dustin, hope I said that right, uses it for making JQL, a great practical use case.
Yeah, awesome.
So questions around that, like how do I automate text-heavy tasks? How do I find things more easily? How do I make JQL easier to learn? Properly pronounced JQuil, by the way. Everyone should know that.
I didn't know we were going to talk about political issues here. Okay. So one thing over on the JQuil topic is that Rovo has replaced the searches in Jira and Confluence. So it's written by Rovo. This makes the search even more powerful.
Yeah, so quick crash course on Rovo. I can just ask a natural language question. The example I always use, because I have in this demo instance stuff about a VPN, I can just type in what is a VPN, and it will answer that like a human. And I'll get this nice answer. Practical tip, this probably isn't on the exam. It's AI. Always double check, always read things. Also, organizations can turn off Rovo. So it's possible your team has said, we don't want to use this for any reason. They can disable it. So that may or may not show up on the exam. But generally, Rovo is available. To Kristján's point, it shows up in our search. I also have this chat, Ask Rovo, where I can interact. Here, I was using it to generate some regex. I might ask it to make some JQL. Create JQL to find all my work. And again, we don't have to dig in too deep to how Rovo works. We don't have to know how to build an agent for this exam. It's just the general.
Speaking of agents, maybe we should talk a little bit about what agents are. Highlight high overview of an agent.
What are they? What are they, Kristján?
Oh, they're minions that help us. They're minions that help us. That we can actually train them. We can give them instructions. We'll create an agent and give it instructions on a specific task. And then, so instead of asking in Rovo chat and getting the framework there, you can just have a specified dedicated agent to do this specific task.
Best definition I heard is AI with a job. So practically, this one is helping me craft stuff in my brand's voice.
Yeah, with a specific job, right? With a kind of narrowed down, that's a good one.
Yeah, but these are agents, again, a tailored specific use of Rovo. Organizations can make their own. So you might have your own custom agents. Atlassian also provides a lot of agents just out of the box for people to use. But that's Rovo. Again, chat, search, agents. Agents are AI with a tailored specific purpose to do a thing. All right. Let's see, where are we? I got to back up even more. Apps for software teams. I think of Rovo as my homunculi. What is a homunculi, Kaithra? That's a fun word that I know.
I think that's the first time I see that word.
All right. There are 4 apps in this software teams bucket. And again, we're still exploring the 68% of our certificate that's going to relate to apps. We've got Rovo Developer, we've got Bitbucket, we've got Compass, and Status Page. Again, Compass, we won't talk about too much. It's being swapped out for DX, Developer Experience. Rovo Dev is a specific tool for developers. So think of this as the Rovo that helps you write code, automates development workflows, all of that. I'm not a developer. I can't show that. Kristján, are you a developer? Do you use this all the time?
I'm not either, but it's a command line interface. So it's just Rovo on steroids.
Rovo on steroids. All right, there we go.
Keyboards.
So be aware that Rovo Dev exists. For this certificate, we just have to know it's for development teams. And it's that Rovo, the power of Rovo using the teamwork graph. This term may or may not show up, which is the data layer Rovo uses. But Rovo Dev helps development teams create software and code. It's also, like Kristján mentioned earlier, integrated with all the other stuff. Jay Connor's Atlassian vibe coding.
Speaking of the teamwork graph, that plays a big role. The teamwork graph is what makes all of these integrations. Well, the artificial intelligence for the integrations possible.
So yeah, the thing to know about the teamwork graph, and I understand about much of it, it's where all the information in your Atlassian systems ends up. And if there's connected systems, so this I don't think is on the exam, but you can plug in other systems to the graph, and this gives Rovo access to more information. That's what makes it seem so smart. It just has all these connections. So if you see the term teamwork graph pop up, that probably relates to Rovo in some way, and in some way to how all these systems are interconnected.
The brain.
The brain of Rovo.
Yeah.
Liz is saying it's Cloud code. Sorry, Liz. Had to pronounce that one. All right, so that's Rovo Dev. Bitbucket we briefly spoke about, or it came up in a question earlier. It's the cloud-based Git repository. Again, I'm not a developer, so I know what the screenshots look like. What should we know about it for our exam, though, Kristján?
The management of code, management of programming code takes place in Bitbucket, and they have terms like making a branch, committing code, things like that.
All right. Again, I'm kind of scared by it because I don't write code.
Yeah.
I know enough about it to go, okay, it's where the code lives, and then I walk away.
It's a repository, but Bitbucket can be integrated with Jira, so you can actually do some Bitbucket actions in Jira. That makes sense. Action's not the right word. You can perform. Yeah.
Yeah. So practically, you can reference a Jira work item in your code in Bitbucket, and that will link the two in Jira. That may or may not show up on the exam. Questions around how do you connect your code to a Jira work item? Oh, Bitbucket. So that's just something else to keep in mind. I'll skip Compass just because it doesn't really exist anymore. But again, developer experience DX replaces that. If Bitbucket is where the code lives, developer experience is how you help manage all of that. It's where you're going to classify different pieces of code. It's where your developers will go for a source of truth on how it works.
Yeah, the engineering intelligence and the bottlenecks.
All right. Who has used status page? Me.
Ooh.
Not me. What now? All right. Quick.
Is that something to do with like marriage, or if you're single? Is that what we're talking about here?
Yeah, it's the new Tinder, I've heard.
Mm.
It helps you connect. So question, Jay Connor's still using Compass. Yes, it's they've announced they're going to replace it. It may still exist and be used, but it will be eventually swapped out for DX. But for this exam, DX will show up, not Compass, just because it's been refreshed, it's newer. Respond in chat if you use status page. Yes for 1, no for 2, or 3 if you don't know what status page is. You have probably looked at status page and you don't even know it. If you've ever been to status.atlassian.com, this is status page. Grace 2 never heard of it. Yep. Status page is the tool that just shows is a system up or down, basically. And it looks like Jira Product Discovery is having some issues. So let's click on that. This is a product I didn't know Atlassian had until I took one of these certifications. I was like, what's status page? So things to know about status page for our certificate. It displays to customers information on a system status. It can be automated. So this all systems operational can change. And I'll see if I can find one that has an incident. Here we go. So if there's an issue, if there's a problem, this can change and show customers, hey, it is broken. I use these all the time for a sanity check. Just because if I don't know if it's just me or if it's everyone, a status page will help me. Yeah. You can also subscribe to updates. So if I'm really curious about Jira Product Discovery, I'll click subscribe to updates. Oh, wow, you can get text numbers and phones. I didn't know about that one. But you can get an email, etc. So it can also just update you, hey, when something breaks. But this is status page. Again, we don't have to know how to set it up. We don't have to know how to configure it. We just have to know that it's a product that tells people what's going on with your various services or your websites. I saw a great question go flying by. Jay Connors, Kristján, can you answer this one? Is Jira Work Management and Jira separate, or are they separate?
So Jira Work Management was discontinued. So it's just Jira. So Jira covers what was Jira Work Management. So some of the features there became integrated in Jira.
I have the same questions all the time, Jay Connors, because if you go into Jira, and this is more my own personal annoyance, you've got Jira, which used to be called Jira Software. It'll just be called Jira on our certificate exam. There also used to be Jira Business, Jira Work Management. Those are all now just Jira. Separately, and we'll talk about this product in a moment, there's Jira Service Management, or JSM. There's also Jira Product Discovery. So the terms we'll know now, the terms that are currently being used, Jira, Jira Service Management, and Jira Product Discovery, you may see pop up. Most other uses, Jira Work Management, are just called Jira these days.
Yeah.
Hopefully that wasn't too confusing. Don't apologize, my friend. Let's go back to our status page and just see if we can find this real quick. But yeah, it is still a separate thing.
Oh, okay, in there.
Yeah.
I don't know why that is still shown that way. Sorry.
That's a great call out. This is something else just to keep in mind. This exam is brand new as of this morning. It was just rewritten. Over time, things will change in the cloud. So if you're watching this later, this recording, you catch this clip at some point, or you earn this certificate, it's going to shift. And that's a great transition. Is Jira Align still a thing? Slavin, could you describe Jira Align in chat while we switch back to our learning path and see if it's in there? Or if it's right here. So these were the more software development related things. Again, the big ones we're looking at, we've got RovoDev, which is our AI helper for code. We've got Bitbucket, where our code lives. We've got Compass, or DX, how we manage our code. And then we've got Status Page, how we tell other people if things are broken.
Yeah.
Anything I missed in that lightning round of the software stuff, Kristján?
No, I think that's pretty good.
Okay, so the way this learning path is broken down, like there's a general cloud, then there's these different apps for teamwork, apps for software. These are the big buckets of apps. You don't have to use all of them in one bucket. I'm just pointing this out if you're new to this. You tend to use different combinations, but it does help me consider how do they all integrate and work together. So we're going to jump out of software and go into strategy. And that question around Jira Align was a great entry. I promise I didn't plant that question. All of these apps tend to be used less commonly. They tend to be higher level strategic planning. For example, I personally never used Focus or Talent just because I happen not to be at those orgs. Sorry, Kristján?
I haven't. No, same with me. I haven't, and they're fairly new. I think Talent, they're fairly new as well.
So I'm not going to put another poll in here and just like, has anyone used any of the strategy apps? You used any of the strategy apps?
But the main thing again is that we don't have to know them in depth. We just have to know very high level what they do.
Correct.
What is Jira Align for, etc.
Yeah. So our goal today, to Kristján's point, is to know that there's an app called Focus, and to know, oh, what can it do? Managing strategic work at scale. For me, that's about all I need. That tells me if I have a big organization planning out years of work, they could use Focus to help find these things and figure out priorities. So we're not going to dig into these too much. We just have to know that they're generally around. The names are very helpful in this collection or in this group of apps. Focus is around aligning and focusing priorities. That's my high level, like the cheat code I use in my head. And of course, you can dig into more here. Talent. Ooh, yes.
Yeah. Sorry. You're not. Okay. Yeah. No. Good. Keep on going.
Jay Connors has a great question. Is Focus different than Jira Plans or Jira Goals or just goals? Kristján, what do you think?
So, okay. Wow, I'm getting put on the spot.
You are.
Jira Plans is the old roadmap. No, what's it called?
Used to be called Advanced Roadmaps.
Advanced Roadmaps. There we go. So Advanced Roadmaps, where you kind of do a Gantt chart organization of all the work. So that's Jira Plans. Goals is a separate thing that came from Atlas, I think it was, which is basically setting up the goals for the company, and then you can align them with tickets later, further down the road with Jira tickets. So, and neither of these is Jira aligned. But maybe we'll talk with Jira Align a little more once we're done with Focus. How about
we will. So Focus is a separate app. There's some comments in chat around, where did it go? Big orgs will need these because they have a lot of stuff flying around. Smaller orgs don't, which is why I never use them. So Focus is more, think of it as like enterprise scale. There's a feature in Jira called Jira Plans. So that is part of Jira itself. Focus is an entirely separate app that you have to pay for that is managed separately. Goals is a third app that is separate. It's a different category of app called a platform app. We'll talk about those in a bit. But each of them has a slightly different use. Jira Plans, in my mind, is like 6 to 24 months of planning. Goals is for objectives and key results. So not necessarily a project or work, but what do we want to do? And Focus is for figuring out what should we do. We have all these priorities and possibilities. How do we pick one?
Yeah, that's pretty. I like that. I like the way that you were talking about how goals are the objectives, how they align it to.
Yeah. I've got a question from SK. I'd love to hear more about this. If you could reach out to me directly just so we could understand more. It'll be hard to do this async. I'm going to put my LinkedIn information in the chat, as well as information on my Discord and WhatsApp. Grab me anywhere in there, and I'd love to run this question down with you. All right. Anne is reading my mind. Again, a shout out. Anne is a channel member. I don't know if anyone heard that. That was my little robot vacuum yelling at me, which was very startling because I was by myself. We actually, fun story, we had to kick that robot out of our house because it would wake up in the middle of the night and start yelling, and we would all panic. Now I'm freaking out here. Anyway, so let's focus. Talent is more about finding talent, finding who has skills in your organization to help out. We're going to come to Align in a second, Anne. I have never used talent, but it's workforce planning. Let's say we want to build a new app and we have specific types of developers we think we need. We can use talent to help uncover who those people are and do they have capacity to join the team or the squad. Mm-hmm. Again, in a small company, I might not need this tool, but on a big organization, thousands of workers, I don't know who to pick. So talent can help us with that. So any question or any concept I have around finding the right skill set, finding the right person for job X, what capacity does Y person have? Talent is probably going to be my go-to. And anything around workforce planning out the human resources, talent. Yeah. Okay, Align. We've seen some questions around this. Jira Align is its own product. It is separate from Jira. So it's a separate product entirely, a separate app. It's intended for agile at scale. So we've got a question here, a bunch of teams with their own sprint cycles, higher tier of strategy work. Other folks in chat mentioned, I don't have the hundreds of thousands of dollars it costs and all that. Yes, Liz, I am haunted. I just saw that. But this is intended for companies with over 500 folks using Agile, and they've been using Agile at scale for over 6 months.
So think of Align, think of enterprise.
Yes.
Whereas regular Jira or just Jira would be more for smaller teams or individuals, but Jira Align will be enterprise planning.
Yes. So any question I'm asked around, hey, I've got a whole enterprise we have to plan sprints by, multiple Jira instances or copies, anything around high-level strategic work is probably Align. So that's the big difference. And again, I've never worked anywhere that uses this because the places I've worked didn't use Agile this way. So it's got a very particular use case, which is the Agile at scale. Jay Connors is saying, though, there is something in the middle. Like Jira is good for projects and sprint work. Then we've got Jira Plans, which might be 6 to 24 months of work. And then in the further end, we've got Align. So as our needs expand, there are different products to fit those. Okay, these are we also have Rovo in here in the strategery section. Liz was joking earlier that Rovo shows up like 10 times in this learning path. because it shows up in different groups of apps.
Yeah.
So Rovo for this exam, like again, just know it's got search, chat, and agents.
Yeah. And Rovo, in a way, Rovo is a platform app, right, across the platform, but also Rovo shows up in these collections. So kind of a,
okay. I like this. Isaac is saying Jira Align is like super agile. Kind of. All right. We've mentioned Jira plans briefly. This is a separate feature within Jira. So I'm going to go into my demo. In Jira, I have a space, a collection of work. That space might be around mobile development, building our mobile app. And this is a board. So 1 to 4 weeks of work. I might have to plan longer though. So I would open up what's called a plan, which is not turned on in here somehow. There it is. Oh. So a plan, it'll look very similar, but it's just planning a longer timeline or a little bit more sophistication. So when I think of this, like my day-to-day developers might use the Jira board, my project managers might use the plan, and my executive strategic planners might use Align in order like how it works. Shout out to also the Jira Guy, another friend of the channel, one of my moderators. Check out thejiraguy.com, I think is your blog. Rodney has a lot of great perspective on Jira and an amazing depth of knowledge. So I'm glad you're here, my friend. I'm going to ask the group to support Diva on this. What's the difference between Kanban and Trello? And I'm going to ask the group to do this because later when we all take our exam together, you will be able to ask for help. It's an open book exam. So you can put questions in the chat. We won't give you the exact answer, but we'll help guide your thinking or help you understand it. So folks in chat, help answer this question. How is Kanban different than Trello? Is it different or not? I don't know. Let's help them out.
Yeah.
Not us, Kristján. Chat.
Yeah.
All right. Last thing in the Strategery collection, I hope I'm saying that right, is Jira Product Discovery. Kristján, what do we need to know about Jira Product Discovery?
Well, it's for prioritization and road mapping for the product teams. It's the beginning of, if you think about software development, is the beginning of that development process. You know, you get an idea, you talk about it, and once you get done with roughly talking about it, then you can move into JPD or Jira Product Discovery, and then start fleshing out that idea there, and that feeds then into Jira as work items that need to be done.
Yeah. Now, this is slightly confusing because it shows up in Jira. It's not like a separate app. So folks have pointed out, like, is Jira Work Management still a thing? Jira Product Discovery is in Jira, but it's treated as a separate app for the exam. You might get questions around it. So this is a bit of an interesting edge case, as I understand it, Kristján.
Yeah. And another thing too, in those exams, we try to avoid edge cases.
Mm-hmm.
Once in a lifetime thing. You have to do something once in a lifetime almost as an admin. We try to avoid asking on them.
I like this one. Jira Product Discovery can get feedback on new features, etc. So when I think of my when I think of my pipeline, how I'm coming up with work, I might start with Jira Product Discovery. Hey everyone, what do you want us to build? What course should I make next? I get 500 ideas. Then I use that to filter down, these 5 ideas. I take those ideas, I put them in Jira, and I document them in Confluence. Maybe I use Loom to have a meeting around it and just share information. Then in Jira, I begin doing the work, and I have to plan it out over a year. So I go into my Jira plan. I'm trying to like smash all these apps together to help folks see how they can tie in. Don't know if this is helping or not. Let me know in chat. But Jira is where the work is happening. It's like the engine. Everything else around that can build it. My development team might be in Bitbucket, writing their code and using Rovo Developer. And then I might be using Talent to go dig through and find people to help me out. Ooh, that was very
cool. Well done.
Thank you. I'll take no further questions. All right, that was all of the strategy apps. Again, we don't have to understand how to configure them. We just have to generally understand what they do. And most of them, it's in the name. Talent is around talent management. Align is around high-level alignment. Okay, apps for service. The last big bucket of apps, and then we'll dig into more of the support and other options. because we're going to be taking our exam soon.
We might speed up a little bit.
Yeah.
Service
all right.
management.
Talk to us about JSM, Kristján. What is this? Why do we care?
Okay. When I think of JSM, Jira Service Management, I think of customers that need service, need help. Could be external, could be internal, but they're somebody outside that need help inside, right? So what we need there is we need some kind of a portal for them to create their tickets, easy access to view their tickets and what's happening. So that's JSM. If you think about it. JSM, difference between JSM and Jira is that it's service oriented. It has a portal, has SLA metrics built into it, CSAT scores, things like that service management needs. It still has spaces, and those spaces have work items in them, just like Jira, but they just have a little bit of different functionality. So we're not talking about Kanban or Scrum boards inside of JSM, because that's more of a iteration of work or working on a project, whatever that might be. It doesn't have to be software development, but rather we have the portal and those customer service.
Yeah. I'm going to extend on that. And when I think of Jira Service Management, anytime I see the term customer in a question or talking to somebody, anytime I hear the term request or request for help, that's a signal, oh, service management. The biggest difference between JSM, Jira Service Management, and Jira is this concept of a customer and the portal, and that provides a different view of work. So the customer can submit a request for help, and they'll only see a small amount of information, but the agent, the person working on it, sees a lot of stuff to help their request. So
do you have a portal set up in your demo right now?
I have many portals set up.
Okay. Sorry.
So great transition. Yeah, we're going to take a look at this portal. So again, anytime I hear the term portal, I go Jira Service Management. Someone can also get help from a connected Confluence knowledge base. So I might just click on this to see an article about device support, or I might click here to put in a ticket. I need IT help. I'll fill in some fields. Or I'll fill out a form with other information and then submit this request, and someone will work on it.
So same concepts, like a work item, but different lingo. So instead of work item, it's a request. Instead of reporter on a Jira work item, the person who creates it, it's a customer who's making the request.
Mm-hmm. Now, this is slightly confused by the next app, which is called Customer Service Management. I mentioned the term customer typically means JSM. This is a new app. I'm going to drop another quick poll. Have you used CSM, which stands for Customer Service Management? Again, it's very new. If you're signing up for JSM today, you also get CSM. It's just bundled. So many groups that have JSM have CSM, but they may not use it, which is totally okay. Customer Service Management is more focused on external customers. I think of these as people who don't work at your organization. So another way to think of these two, put a 1 for yes, a 2 for no, and a 3 for you don't know what it is in the chat. I think of anyone who doesn't work at my organization as being an external customer. I think of anyone who works at my organization as being an internal customer. It's possible for a human to be both. I might work at a grocery store and also buy food there. But typically, customer service management is for external customers who don't work there. It's more AI focused. It uses Rovo and agents to help answer and respond to things. Jira Service Management is more internally focused. Think like bug reporting, requests for laptops, that kind of thing.
Another thing worth noting is that, because you mentioned that CSM is new, JSM has been around for a long time, probably close to 10 years now, or 10 years maybe. I think we can think of customer service management as an iteration and more focused tool from Jira Service Management. But there's still both of them are there. Okay.
All right, we got to keep rolling. I saw some chatter about assets. This used to be part of Jira Service Management. However, it's now its own separate app. So you can have assets without having JSM. The thing to know about assets is it tracks information about something you want to manage. This something could be a coffee mug. This something, I'm just picking up stuff on my desk, could be a phone. It could be a laptop. It could be
it could be equipment, but it could also be a software asset, any kind of asset, right? It doesn't have to be a computer. It can be anything, really. You want to try.
And that's something else to consider for earning these certificates. Like, there is a use case you may have run into in your job. When I was in IT, I had to track all the laptops. But an asset is just something we want to track, that we own, that we want to manage. Could be a person, could be hardware, could be an idea, could be software licenses. The assets module helps us do that. So any question on the exam around a configuration item, or around a scheme, or around tracking something that we want to manage is probably related to assets. Clint B, that's a great question. I don't have an answer to off the top of my head. I'm just going to put this up on the screen real quick. If anyone in chat can help them out, I'll also refer you to my Discord community here. And we're going to use this as a transition into the Atlassian community. So the support options we have and where we can go for help. Because these live sessions are great. However, when you're taking your exam in 10 minutes or in 2 weeks when you have a question, you got to know where to go. So Kristján, I'm going to throw you under the bus, my friend. Oh. Explain the community to folks in 3 sentences.
Fun.
Okay, keep going.
Okay, 3 sentences. So community is where you can go to ask other people, other users, admins, questions. You can go there to read discussions that are happening, like should I use JSM or CSM? And people might be writing articles about that, knowledge articles. And yeah, that's it. You get 2.
You get 2. So the Atlassian community, and I'm going to change our chat. I think I know the answer for some of the people in here because you live in this place. Do you use the community? You use the community. 3 main areas we need to consider. I got to type faster. Nope. So just respond in chat 1, 2, or 3. You use it all the time, sometimes, or never. Do you use the community? But 3 main areas we want to look at. Amelia, I'm going to show you where Atlassian Learning is. First is the forums. For our exam, just know that the forums are a place to go to ask questions and share knowledge. You'll see me in here. I will do my best to take all the questions from this chat log and try and answer them here in the forums. I will try. What you'll do is go into the forums. I'll put this link in the chat in just a minute. There are groups. There's a group for certifications, training and certification. I'm just going to copy this link and drop it in the chat so folks can see it. But be on the lookout. I will do a follow-up there. I will also send a follow-up via email to folks if you want them. I'll post here. I will try and answer all the questions in chat, including where do I find stuff. But there's articles people can write. I'll challenge everyone to write their own articles. Keep in mind, it's intended for how-to best practice. Don't post anything sensitive, nothing confidential, nothing personal. So these are the forums. You can also just click ask a question. Great place to go. Second main area is learning. Kristján, how much does it cost to take the on-demand learning? Could you remind me?
Oh, I don't know off the top of my head, sorry.
Oh, nuts. It's a whole bunch of nothing. So under learning, we have on-demand. There's this whole catalog. Everything in the community is free except for a couple of edge cases. But we can come in here and just look for assets, and let's see what we get. Oh, there's 11 things. Amazing. So this is all Atlassian provided learning. The learning path for this certification, or this certificate, excuse me, pops out of here. Amelia, this link goes to this assets, this page right now. But you can come in here and search for stuff. So this is Atlassian Learning. Again, free learning, free enablement. Please go use it. Tell your friends. But also on our exam, if you get questions around how do you get free training, right here.
Yeah, Atlassian Learning.
Oh, Amelia, I'm saying forums. Yes. So I hate this. The word is so hard to say. The message boards. It's the message boards are the forums. And last, our events. There's in-person events that people like myself or Kristján might host. So just know that you can also come to the Atlassian community to find events like this, which are virtual, or some that are in person.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, is that Vienna, Atlanta? I think that's supposed to be Vienna, Austria. Here's one in Sydney, another virtual one. So the community offers a lot of free support. So questions on our certificate or questions someone asks me around how do I learn how to do something? Where do I share information? Ding, ding, ding. Sorry. Congratulations, my friend.
Well done.
We got one.
Well done.
Some folks are taking the exam as I'm talking. That is totally fair. Again, it's open book. We'll have dedicated time in about 10 minutes for us all to do it, though. But this is the community. So definitely explore it after this if you aren't in here already. Most of us are using it all the time. Kristján?
And think about community as a place where you can ask other users questions. Whereas Atlassian Learning is you are consuming predefined learning material.
Answers to our questions in the forums. Send out via email. Sign up here. So quick link in chat. I've got a newsletter just about ACH and Atlassian certificate topics. I'll also email these folks answers to all the questions out of chat. Okay, so that's the community. There's also a release notes in the top right. This is relatively new. I'm just pointing this out because I didn't know it existed. And you can come in here and just see what's getting released. Status page suggestions. Cool. So this is another way we get support. We've got the community, and that's how we can reach out to other people. Both Atlassians are in there. You know, Kristján works with Atlassian. He'll hang out in the forums. I'm an independent creator. I'll be in there. There's customers. There's prospective customers. A lot of great stuff. But let's see if we can go find our learning path. And there's one other area. It's just like documentation and support that we have.
Yeah, we're not on the...
Okay. There's documentation. And that's this link. This is where we can go for official Atlassian stuff.
Yeah.
This is my reference guide. This is the manual. What is
So
the
now we kind of have three things, right? And we have the community forums where you can ask, custom questions. We have the learning, where was it? Digesting a predefined learning path, and then the documentation as to how to do or how things work.
Yes. So those are our three main areas of support. Again, for most people, we can't go in and put in a ticket for Atlassian to come help answer it. However, we can go look up all of these things. Sandy, I'm going to give you a link in chat. You can find the exam there. I'll show you in a few minutes how to go find it. We've got one other area we need to talk to, though, and that's plans and security. This briefly came up earlier, but there's a product called Atlassian Guard. We just need to know exists. This is the official security documentation in the learning path. But, Atlassian's built in the cloud. There's a lot of permissions that pervade Atlassian. If you don't have permission to something, you can't see it. If you don't have permission to something, Rovo will not show it to you. So that's typically the kind of questions we're going to see. It's intended to be a collaboration platform and to help people control who can see what appropriately. Kristján, anything to add to that on the security aspect? What we might need to know for the exam, or just general good best practice?
No, nothing comes to mind. Sorry.
All good.
Drawing a blank.
So then the other thing are the different tiers.
Yeah.
This can show up. What I'm going to do is actually go to Jira pricing and talk about it from here because it's easier to visualize. You can just Google Jira pricing or Confluence pricing. Most apps will have a page kind of like this. But there's 4 tiers. We've got free, which is free, shockingly, standard, premium, and enterprise. Biggest difference to know, especially for our exam, all the paid ones get Rovo. So if you're on free, you won't get Rovo. As you go up tier, you get more features. For example, Jira Plans, it shows up in premium. The other thing to know for our exam is the support you get will differ. If you're on premium or enterprise, you get 24/7 support. If you're on standard, you get just working hours, 9 to 5.
Hours.
Mm-hmm.
All of these plans still get the general features that are being rolled out, like improvement in the intake screen, things like that. That gets rolled out. That's common among all of them, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is also a good just reference. Like people ask me all the time, where do I get assets? And I'll go, hang on, I got to go find it.
Or sandbox, or yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
And yeah, and we don't need to know all the differences, except that there are differences between them. We don't need to memorize all of them.
Yep. All right. So we've got a couple of just prep questions for our exam. I'm going to go get rid of this current poll. If you've got specific questions or areas we haven't touched on, use the chat. Otherwise, tell me which app tracks components and which team manages those components. DX, Guard, or Confluence? 1, 2, 3 in chat. We haven't explicitly answered this question, but I'm curious if folks will be able to puzzle it out. Now, think of this as practice for the exam. I'll show you how to take it in just a minute if you haven't found that already. But we've got a question with 3 answers. We have to pick the one right answer and ignore the non-right answer. So respond in chat 1, 2, or 3. What's correct? And then I'll explain some thinking and how we can approach exam questions as we go. All right, I'm seeing a lot of 1s. So as we're talking, I'm looking for keywords in the question. Okay, it's an app. I look at this. These are all apps, I think. Okay. Components is a keyword that pops out. What do I know about Confluence? It's for knowledge. It's for sharing. It's for content. Thinking back, I haven't heard the term component used with Confluence. So maybe Guard. What do we know about Guard? All right, Guard. Kristján, what do you know about Guard? Help me out.
Yeah, security. We're trying to secure our platform with it. So components, again, probably not there. So that's a great way to eliminate the other 2 answers.
Yeah. So in addition to which one do I know is correct, Guard, I'm also thinking through, can I eliminate incorrect answers? So I always take a look at those keywords and try and figure out which one do I want to get rid of. To address your question, Amelia, yes, ACH is Atlassian certificate holder. While I pull up the next question, Kristján, could you explain what an ACP is, or an ACP?
So ACH, certificate holder, is the entry level. It's the most broad exams. The questions are most broad in them. They're free. And then we have the ACAs, associates, Atlassian Certified Associates. So they're a little bit deeper. They cost money to take, and then also require to have some experience. They're more for the end user, but also professional, or people that are administrating. And then you have Atlassian Certified Professional, ACP, which is the highest tier. And those are focused for the administrators that are administrating those products. So that's the difference between those 3. Yeah. So certificate holder, everybody, entry level, great. It's the way to get to know the certification framework that Atlassian has, if you like, because they're all taken on the same platform, and they all have the same processes when you sign up for them and take them. And then you move into the ACA as the associate. That's the first one. It starts costing you, but general users, and ACP, the professionals or administrators.
Yeah, and as you go up, they get much more technical, Amelia. So the ACAs will focus more on how to use the platform. The ACPs focus on how to configure. Yeah. All right.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
All right. Another question. A board is moved from one app to another app with more features. What happened? Answer 1, Trello cards became work items. 2, epics moved from Jira to Align. 3, Confluence page moved into assets. Again, trying to think through eliminating options. So keywords in here: board, app. Confluence doesn't use boards, so that I just know that. But then Jira epics to Align. Gatekeeper. Just following the chat here, trying to follow the thread. Yeah, Trello cards are getting flipped into Jira work items. So we're taking something that just has more features, a different app. There is one topic I forgot to bring up entirely, and that is partners. Kristján, could you explain what Atlassian partners do or are?
Yeah. So Atlassian doesn't have a sales organization per se, but they have partners that can resell Atlassian licenses. So partners are independent companies that provide solutions and licensing, and some of them do learning as well, training for customers. So you can go to a partner to help you find a solution that will work best for your business requirements, and then purchase the licenses from them. So they're reseller of licenses.
Now there's two flavors of partners. We've got solution partners, and they may help you consult or install or help you with licensing. There's marketplace partners that make apps. So anytime someone asks me, hey, is there an app store for Atlassian? Yes, it's called the marketplace, and partners build these. These extend what Atlassian can do. Script Runner is a big one. Add additional scripting. Timesheets can be put in there. We don't have to know what all these do, but for our exam, just consider how do we add features to Atlassian? It's probably an app. It's a marketplace partner. How do we get help with how to use it? And we want to go pay a company to do that. A solution partner. So those are the two kind of partners at a high level. And again, the solution side, like Kristján's saying, is going to help us out with licensing, help us. How do we use this to support us? Marketplace apps, how do we extend it?
And the extension being a predefined, thing that you're buying, right?
I like Liz's sell you stuff and train you on stuff. Yeah, that's a very high level way of thinking of it, my friend. All right, folks. I'm going to put a link in chat, and we're going to go take our exam. That link will take you to our credentials, our fundamental certificate right here.
Okay.
Now, I'm going to put a poll in the chat, and I have so many polls in here. I got to go add a new one. How did you do? Passed.
Do we know how many people are going to be attempting to take are going to take the exam now?
There's been 60 people in here. So okay. I put a poll in the chat. How did you do? Passed, or you got to study more? So 1 or 2 after you know. Come to this page. Liz will answer your question in a bit. Scroll down and look for schedule your exam. Now, I'm not going to do this exam live. I'm not going to show you the questions. However, you can ask questions in chat for help. We've got 60 people in here who can help you. You can go into your demo instance and look around. You can go onto the community learning. You can do almost whatever it takes to pass. Click on schedule and take, and then Certiverse. Certiverse is the platform that hosts the exam. And then come in here.
The bottom?
Right at the bottom.
Sometimes at the bottom, there's like privacy. You have to accept window that covers the button, the SSO button at the bottom. So just know about that.
Yep. Pop over to exams, and it's actually this top one. Or you can just type in 820 at the top. Open this up. This includes everything we saw on the page. We get 45 minutes to answer 20 questions. So you get over 2 minutes a question. So take your time if you need to. And remember, focus on eliminating answers. Look at the question, pick out those keywords, board, component, whatever, and see if you can get rid of answers. You can also flag questions for review later. So you must put in some answer, but then you don't have to. You might flag it for later and come back. Wilcox, congratulations. Liz, congrats. For the folks who need to study more, I'll put a link where I'm happy to help you out beyond this to get you there. Again, this is free, so you can try it again in a week or 2. From here, click Get Started.
Isaac Trumbo has also passed.
I can't continue because I took this already. But from here, there would be a few more screens where you can just say Start Exam.
Yeah, you have to enter your company name, and then it'll take you to the next screen, and then Start Exam. And it'll wants to go to a full screen mode. And, and then on the left bottom, it'll be the next to start the exam, and that's where you navigate between the questions. And once you're done all the way through, then you can review questions. All of them pop up. You can choose to read one or all the ones you flagged.
All right, folks. So jump on in, start taking that exam. Let us know how you're doing. If you're stuck, if you're frustrated, if you don't know, if you see a word, you're like, Rob and Kristján didn't talk about this. Jump back into this chat and yell at us. Be like, hey, what does this mean? And we'll help talk you through it. I'm going to go through. Oh, yes.
Our Karini is getting a status 400 bad request.
Oh.
You must still have internet connection.
I'm not too sure about that one, my friend. We won't be able to easily troubleshoot like a technical error with the setup, unfortunately, just because we can't see your screen. It never hurts, to go back out and come back in. Maybe start from an incognito window, force refresh the browser, Command-Shift-R or Control-Shift-R, just to see if that helps.
And you want to be in a Chrome or a Microsoft Edge browsers, I believe.
Yes. I will also put, again, my LinkedIn. I've got a link to sign up for my ACH newsletter. Those are other ways to contact me directly, or Discord or WhatsApp, where folks can help you out. We can jump on a screen share if that's helpful to you. Those are other ways that I'm happy to help directly assist folks. Okay, I just saw some questions. What is a success champion?
Ooh. And there was an answer.
Yeah, so this is Lena's answer, which I love.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. There's two flavors of champions. I use that phrase a lot. A champion is someone who's a little bit more involved. They're volunteering to learn a bit more and become involved in the Atlassian community. It started as in-person events. So if Kristján's a champion in maybe Salt Lake City, what kind of things do you do there, my friend?
In Salt Lake, we have in-person events once per quarter, where we meet together and we just network and brainstorm, talk about the challenges that we have, or there's a presentation about something new, or like new things are announced at team, for example. Usually there's some food involved and just hang out for a little bit, but basically it's a relaxing environment to get to know other professionals and hear what they're going through.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of congrats. Amelia, what do you mean, dang? You passed. I got 19 out of 20, and I helped write this exam, if that helps.
Well done. And then we got Slavis passed as well. Good job.
Amelia, I understand where you're coming from. Keep in mind, though, this exam is very broad. It's very new. There are things about it that we can all always learn. For me, it's humbling to take these. Like, I hold almost every certificate. I have learning courses that train people how to pass these exams. I'm a consultant, blah, blah, blah. I still fail to get 100%. The point isn't to get 100%. It's to expand our knowledge. So congratulations on your success. And I also understand that I missed one.
Clint Young, great. Passed.
Oh, no. The Discord link is wrong. Kythra, could you help me out here if you're still in chat with a fixed link? Clint, congratulations on your success. Rodney, congratulations on your success. Liz, I believe a D also gets a degree, but let's not shoot for a 60%. Alexandra, congratulations, 18 out of 20, amazing.
Well done.
Here we go. Which is a feature that Rovo can help you with in Confluence? Examples will include things like summarizing content, creating content, finding information. So when I think of Rovo in Confluence, I'm not thinking about writing code. I'm not thinking about searching for tickets. I'm usually thinking about making or generating new content, like a whiteboard, like a database, like a page, something like that.
Or summarize something text-based.
Clint, I don't think I got a single Rovo question. That's one I could easily see folks maybe not getting as much as the other ones, because if Rovo is turned off in your organization, or if you use other apps, like you just won't have that hands-on experience.
And it's only 20 questions, and the exam covers a lot of concepts. So
there's a refreshed Discord link. Thank you, Kythra. Again, one of my moderators, massive help, one of my admins in Discord. Also an amazing person. Designed my logo, Jay Quilius, which is over Kristján's head. And also an amazing tech writer if you're looking for a tech writer in your organization, or art, or just want to meet a great person. Kythra, can we make this a shirt, please? It's wow. Kythra also helps run my Etsy store. Maybe we'll put this in a shirt, Amelia. This amuses me way too much. So if you're looking for Jay Coolius swag, this is where you can go check it out. This is something special. Putting the D in degree. Yes. All right.
Coming to a store. No, coming to a good store near you. What they used to say.
All right. Isaac, glad you could get into Discord. If you join me in Discord, you will have to acknowledge that you're a human and agree to some terms. You know, be respectful, no spam, that kind of thing. But I'll see you in there, my friend. Please keep asking questions. And Kythra, I'm going to have to copy this link because yours works, mine doesn't. All right. Who else is taking it? And yes, Lena's reminding us Kythra will also be on the Jira Life this Thursday to interact with them directly and just kind of show off what she's doing. So
Nice.
definitely worth checking that out.
Nice.
All right. We
So
still got about
75% of the past, sorry. And 25% that we need to study more or want to study more.
how they help of people who have responded. So I think only about 10 people have responded to the poll.
Okay.
So folks still taking it. If you're running into challenges, let us know. Again, you can just ask the question or ask for help. I can't show you the question because I can't take the exam anymore. I already passed it with a 19. I missed one somehow.
That was the one you didn't help out with.
Sorry?
That was the one you didn't help out with.
I know, right? It is funny. I've helped with multiple exams, and even going into it, I'm like, I know how this works. I forget this question.
Yeah, totally.
And you got pulled into a meeting. I'm sorry. You should give the people in the meeting this link, and they could earn their certificate.
Yeah,
too.
they could take it together.
They could.
Right? Grace is taking an exam right now.
Grace, we're rooting for you.
And Liz is allowing Isaac to spam with cats. Cat spamming. So you will be getting some cat spamming in the Discord.
Yes. Our Discord has a cats channel.
Nice.
All right. Getting some help on the Discord side. Again, if you do like this, please like and subscribe. Also, let me know what else you want to learn about. I'll keep doing these ACH study sessions to help folks earn them. I've got study sessions for the ACAs, these associates, and the professionals Monday and Friday. And I'm also planning out more sessions like on how project managers or how support teams can use these things.
Oh, funny.
But let me know what else we can help you learn. Also happy to bring on more folks like Kristján to help share knowledge. Oh, yes. Someone on LinkedIn got a 20 out of 20, perfect score.
Well done.
Devya, the link to the exam, and I'll show you what to do after you follow this link, is here. Congratulations, Elle. Congratulations, Beth.
Yeah.
Once you go to that link, you'll end up on Atlassian Community, this page. Scroll down and look for recommended training and click on schedule your exam. Again, I can't do this full process because I've already earned it, but this will load. Then click on schedule and take exams here and click on Certiverse. To Kristján's point, there might be a pop-up. So scroll all the way down.
Yeah.
And right down in the middle of the bottom, there'll be Access Certiverse. You might have to get something out of the way. Lena, congratulations.
Well done, Lena.
How do we link the certificate to LinkedIn? That's a great question. Then Access Certiverse. So do you have that link handy, Kristján? I know the team posted something.
I don't. And I'm not sure if it's a customized or generic link.
So I will see if I can find this quickly, but I will share instructions. I will also build a Loom, and I'll have a blog post on showing folks how they can do this. But there is a way to easily share. I don't know where it went. Oh, it's going to drive me crazy. LinkedIn cert. Is there a Gina? Where did this go? Aha, I found it.
Oh, well done.
And it's a community link, so it's public.
Okay.
All right. It's a slightly more in-depth process, I think, than many of us hope. Oh, it does not tell you which questions you got wrong. It should give you a breakdown of the sections.
Yeah.
So, it'll tell you the number of questions you got right by section. If you need help converting that, you can do some math or just reach out to me. I can help you. Post to LinkedIn here. So this link will take you to the page that's on the screen right now. You'll have to go into the portal. So I'll click on this link, go to credential portal. It'll think. This will be the same portal as taking the exam. And then digital badges and shared transcripts. This one at the bottom, and badges. So this bottom option, you may have a setting. This may not be checked. So you might see something in the middle. You want to check enabled. So you have to do this first. Oh, Galen, congrats, my friend. Anne, 20 out of 20. Isaac, a plus heart. So come here, make sure this is enabled, and then update. And then scroll down, and you'll have all of your credentials. So I'll go find, where's my 820? 820. Oh, it hasn't processed yet. Okay, fine. It can take a little bit of time for them to show up here.
Yeah, it can take 24 to 48 hours for it to show up.
Yes. Kyther's got a great point. You can't open support tickets because it's focused on your legal name. This is annoying. I keep agitating for this, Kristján, if you could keep nudging people. Grace, congratulations.
Well done.
Lena, it can take 48 hours. Once it's in here, though, and if you want a reminder and an update, again, you can reach out to me. You can sign up. I'll send out probably an email in 2 days up here for a reminder to post your credential. This link goes to my newsletter about certificates. Feel free to sign up there. I'll send out a reminder on how to do this.
And there's also email from MCP, personal email from MCP that he writes every morning.
He writes them all.
Yeah, if we passed it.
Open this up, go view more, and there's a little link icon, this little guy right here. This link is what you want. You'll take this and then go into LinkedIn and add that to your license or certification. JW, congratulations.
Well done. Well done. Wasn't JW was having a hard time getting logged in earlier?
Into Discord, yeah.
Oh, that was Discord.
There.
Well done. Nice. Let's see.
Kythra, who could help us with documentation? Who do you think?
Oh, yeah, who could? Right?
All right, folks. If you're still taking it, let us know if you need help. Again, take your time. If you started when we all went through the process, you still have 20 minutes. You're not even halfway through yet. So make sure you take time to read the questions, understand what it's asking before you go in there. If you're looking for other credentials up under learning, there are 5 free ACHs now. They're all similar in structure, 45 minutes, all under this ACH. Everything under certificate holder is free. So these are the ones that I'll be doing live sessions on, just like this, where people can take them together. I did Rovo before. I've planned out one for Loom in a week and a half. So not this Friday, but the next one, to go through and earn the Loom fundamentals. And as more ones are created, I'll add more. Arcarini, congratulations.
Wow.
Leave your VPN. Yes. I'm glad that got it. And thank you for sharing how you fixed it.
Well done.
Rodney's showing off some OG creds here. The original DC admin ACP from 2017, signed by Michael Cannon Brooks, the CEO of Atlassian, and Scott, the co-founder, signed it. Wow. Wait, what are we saying not it for, Amelia?
Is that the new password?
If you're looking for other free training as well, in addition to the ACHs, I have ones that I make up I call these mini certifications. I've got one on the Projects app. I built this because I had no idea what the Projects app did. But this is 15 minutes. It's a credential that I provide. This is not through Atlassian, but this will give you information on projects. I've got one on JQL, and I've got one on Confluence, intended as a super beginning level. Amelia, thank you so much for joining. That is the best takeaway you could have given, at least you could have said you got. Like the certificate's great, you know, but it's about the community. Each of us can always learn something. Each of us can always teach something. So please take that lesson of like, hey, we can all help and learn from each other to heart and share that. Devia, congrats. Oops,
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. Congrats on that. 18 out of 20. Well done.
If you're looking for other free stuff for the higher level certificates, I have an entire bundle of free courses. This is in addition to the free stuff on Atlassian Learning. So feel free to come check these out. There's 9 or 10 of them now. I keep adding to this as we go. Kythra, congratulations.
Yeah, well done.
But to Amelia's point, like, how can we help each other? So if there's other ways I can help you learn this stuff, or if Kristján can, I'll volunteer him. Please reach out and let us know what other topics, what other modalities. I do these live sessions because someone thought it'd be fun to do them together. I do these free courses because people wanted quizzes and other things. Grace, I'll put a link in the chat. Again, it's a free thing that I put together. I also offer badges you can put on LinkedIn just because they're fun. No, come back. I broke my own website. I don't even know what I'm doing anymore. Hang on. Here we go. So this link is the project's mini certification. Oh, Amelia didn't want to make documentation. My friend, documentation is fun. But Kythra is literally the documentation czar. Or maybe Zarina? Is that the appropriate term? I don't know, Kythra, you tell me. Campfire, I appreciate that shout out. You can recommend my content. Atlassian Learning is great, a great free resource. Please use it. I go in there all the time because there's aspects of these tools I don't know. My goal with my site is to extend that and offer more stuff. It's all about different perspectives. I'll also encourage everyone to go find different voices and listen to them as well.
Well done.
Sandy, congratulations.
Good.
Nithens, hopefully you passed. You said done, but you didn't say how you did.
Yeah.
Now, if folks want more, like if you're looking at, hey, what's a good next step? It depends on what you do. The free certificates are always good. Of all of these, Cloud relates to everyone who uses Atlassian, and Rovo relates to almost everyone. Please come in here, check out the Rovo one. If you use Jira Service Management, this one is for you. If you use Loom, obviously Loom Fundamentals, and if you're a programmer, Forge. Now, the next step up, we briefly talked about this. Kristján, could you walk us through what the ACAs are for, or who they're for, I guess is a better descriptor?
Yeah. So it's for users. End users they've been using these apps for a few months. And they focus on those 3 apps, the Confluence, Jira, and then JSM. So having a little bit of experience, not administrating it. So it's not the administration part of it, but the end user of it, like day to day.
All right. So I was addressing Amelia's question. Like, it's frustrating because they don't tell you what you didn't get right.
Yeah.
What I can do is, Grace, you'll get a response from Atlassian saying how you did, the numbers you got right. I can give you a breakdown on the math of the exam to suggest the one section you didn't get. I won't be able to pull apart this specific question, but at least I could narrow it down to one of those 3. Ooh, Kythra, thank you for that. The documentation czar. Perfect.
JW, yes, there are only 3 ACAs at the moment.
Yes, and this is a great reflection of Atlassian taking a look at the apps, how people use them, and adjusting. There used to be 5 or 6. Yeah. Some of those were converted and turned into certificates. For example, this happy fellow used to be the ACA-915. It is now the ACH. This happy fellow used to be the ACA-910, now an ACH, more accessible, intended for beginners. The ACAs are more aligned around the bigger apps, Confluence, Jira, Jira Service Management, to Kristján's point, for those superpower users. L, you should get a follow-up email at some point that breaks down by domain.
Yeah.
But right away, it'll just tell you overall score, like immediately, pass fail basically. Then it will give you later an email saying, oh, section 1, this many, section 2, this many, section 3, this many. If you send me that, I can do the math to tell you which one you may have missed a section in. Or if you open up like a Google spreadsheet real quick, there's 20 total questions. Let me zoom in here. So I've got section 1, 2, 3. It's like 65%, 13, and 12%. I got to make these percents. Oh no, there we go. 20 total questions. So this is the calculator I use when someone asks me, how did I do? Let's call that 3 and 3. So, maybe 14 of the questions are section 1, 3 in section 2, 3 in section 3. So apps, community, and then accounts. From here, you can just say, oh, I got 13 out of the first section, so you missed one there. I got 2 correct in the second section, I missed one there. I got 0 right in the third section, I got to work there. This is how we can break them all up. And again, it may not map perfectly to these numbers, but this is how I look at it. Sean, congratulations on your success.
Well done. How many folks do we still have taking it?
If I don't know, there's still 40 folks in here with us. A lot of them are still hanging out. Some folks could be taking it us, and we'll never know, my friend.
Okay, I was trying to see what kind of emails come.
Kythra, the problem is it's addicting. And one nice thing about being a champion is we get 1 free attempt at every certification. So if you're an Atlassian champion, you don't have to pay the exam fee for the ACA, which is $100, or the ACP, which can be $250. If you're not a champion, I recommend, if you're looking at those, talk to your manager at your organization. It's possible there's a learning stipend. If you're between work, if you're between jobs, or have any kind of financial hardship, reach out to me directly, shoot me an email, find me on LinkedIn, and I have ways I can support you. I really want to ensure that people have the knowledge they need to get their job or something. So if you need help, if you can't afford this, if you need training, let me know. I will help you. I'm bad at math, Liz, okay? Fine, I'll fix it. Here, are you happy now? 17, 15. There. Okay, wait, no.
Sounds like Liz could be an excellent helper.
Liz is a very solid, amazing individual, and just razzing me here. Fine, it's 13, 3, and 4, my friend, depending on how you round. Amelia, great to see you. Hope you enjoyed this. Hope to see you again soon. Let me know what you think.
Yeah. Amelia, thanks for hanging on. So,
Isaac, sorry. What do folks think? Should I do like an ASMR video for Jira? Or, read Atlassian documentation and post that as an audiobook? Sorry, Kristján, I stepped on you there.
Yeah, totally fine. I was just curious. Looks like we've almost 40 people have passed.
That's amazing. In the past hour or so?
Oh, I can't break it down that narrow, but from the start of this session,
That's incredible.
Almost 40 people have passed.
Well,
I think most of them are in here, but
we had about 60 folks the entire time, which is amazing.
Okay. But I can't tell if it was, outside of the session or not.
All right. While we're waiting, I'll practice. I'll go find some documentation. Let's what should we all learn about? Let's do Jira Align, because that came up a bit. What's new? release notes. Okay. With the launch of the new Epics Grids page experience, we're signaling a change to the original Epics Grid page as of version 11.3, scheduled to deploy to sandbox environments on October 9th, 2026, and then production environments on October 23rd, 2026. The classic grids will be designed with an end of support EOS status. At that point, no new features will be added and non-critical defects will no longer be filled by your support and development teams. How was that? Was that good?
That was great. Are you trying to put us to sleep or? So
El, thank you for coming, El. Please make sure you've liked and subscribed and all those fun YouTube things, but really appreciate you coming. Galen, always good to see you, my friend. Have a great day. And for folks, if you're dropping off, come find me on LinkedIn. Come find Kristján online. Also amazing. Morgan Freeman, hands down. Oh, geez.
Oh, wait. Danny. I'm not sure if I'm saying her name right. 20 out of 20. Woo-hoo.
Amazing. Teamwork graph. Okay, here we go.
Very well done.
What is the teamwork graph, Liz? We'll start here. Teamwork Graph is Atlassian's unified data layer that connects teamwork data from across Atlassian apps like Jira and Confluence, as well as external tools. It enables organizations to centralize their data, break down silos, and streamline workflows by providing a common data model for work items, documents, messages, users, groups, projects, and more. At its core, Teamwork Graph is a common data model that represents the building blocks of teamwork. Each item, whether it's a Jira work item, Confluence page, Google Drive file, Slack message, or GitHub pull request, is represented in Teamwork Graph as an object. How was that, Liz? Isaac, you don't have to. We'll be on for at least another 8 minutes before we have to leave.
So you read for 8 minutes? Give people 8-minute nap?
Hey, if that helps. I'm here to help support people. If that means me reading off documentation online for hours, we got this. Wait, did I miss something, Liz? I'm just reading what's on the page. To quote my idol Ron Burgundy, I'll just Ron Burgundy it. All right, folks. Again, we've got another 7 minutes. If you've got other questions we can help you learn, please let us know. Just so we can help you be successful. And if there's other things I or we can do that can help.
Yeah, totally.
Isaac wants more Atlassian documentation. Okay, I'll just continue with the teamwork graph because it's a fascinating topic. Every object belongs to a specific object type, which defines its category and the set of properties that it has. For example, a work item from Jira, Asana, or GitHub can all be represented using the same object type, even though they come from different systems. The standardization is what makes Teamwork Graph powerful. It allows data from both Atlassian apps and external tools to be integrated, queried, and related in a consistent way. I can make, again, I'm an independent creator. I can make this a thing where I just do this. I just don't know who would use it.
Endless loop.
Yes. Chill moment with Atlassian documentation. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Documentation with Atlassian docs. Okay, I'll find a way to package this, folks. I need some ideas on, is this a YouTube video where I record myself in idyllic scenarios reading Atlassian documentation?
Podcast or playlist on Spotify?
Is this an audio book? What does this look like? That would be a banger on YouTube.
Oh my goodness.
I can put some nice background music. Okay, tell you what, folks, here's what I'll do sometime later today. I will record some more Teamwork Graph. I will make it an audio file. And I will put some background music to it. I will then post this in several places. I will post it maybe to LinkedIn if I'm feeling super brave, in my Discord and WhatsApp, on the Atlassian community, and send it out as a link in my update in a couple of days to the ACH folks. So any one of those places. Get the email update here. I'm publicly committing to this, folks.
Just because you had nothing to do between 2 a.m. and 4:30 a.m., you decided to take this on. Okay.
I don't. Now, even funner, I'm going to go post this in the Teamwork Graph or Rovo AI forums, just as a fun lark.
But I like what Anne is saying. We're going to learn by osmosis by just listening to it. So make sure make sure it's a good content, okay, that you're reading.
Oh yes. Does the Teamwork Graph? It doesn't have its own thing. So I will post the message here once this loads in the Atlassian AI and Rovo community forums group. I'll send it as an email. I'll put it on LinkedIn, and I'll send it out in Discord. And this will be a very odd experience. All right. 27 people have heard me say this. I'm kind of afraid what's going to happen. All right, folks, we've got 4 minutes.
Ask you, what are you doing? 2 a.m. Well, I committed to 27 folks.
Is the past tense of osmosis osmosi? Yeah, okay. Hang on. Let me go. I'll put one more poll in here. Would you listen to documentation ASMR? Yes. No. How do you know you're streaming too long when you put in polls like this? You wouldn't, Liz? You just did, though. You want a teamwork graph, right? Oh, sorry. Osmoted is the past tense of osmosis. All right, I'm getting ones across the board. We're going to do some documentation ASMR. Joke's on me. I'm already using ASMR for several hours a day. Osmosi would plural. I could add in, I just heard Kristján typing, I think. I could add in some background keyboard sounds as I'm reading it.
Wow.
Just some light typing.
Some light typing. Is it not clickety-clack keyboard?
I had a nice mechanical keyboard that then my friend Sajit shamed me into getting rid of. So
Ooh. Oh.
Rodney wants a 10-hour version of this. And hey man, I'll do it if folks will listen to it. It'll be fun.
Wow. So it's not like back in the old days when we had cassette tapes and we really liked one song, we would record it after each other, so we wouldn't have to rewind it.
Play it.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll record 10 hours of audio independently and then put stock photos of like a sunrise or birds flying or something like that for 10 hours. Okay, folks.
I gotta drop. This has been great. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, I want to thank folks for jumping in. I hope folks who stuck around found this entertaining. I hope folks who are listening to it found it useful. Please keep engaging. Come find us in the forums. Come find me on Discord or LinkedIn. Find me on YouTube. Find Kristján. He's got great, did you know everything. I'm putting a whole bunch of just messages in here. Kaithra, could you drop the Discord link one more time? Because yours works. I have to update mine. But be on the lookout for more. My job is to help folks learn how to use this stuff. So if there's anything I can do to help you, anything at all, please reach out and let me know. Kristján, thank you so much for sticking around and suffering with me. Any parting thoughts for people?
I just want to say you guys rock. So good for you to take the exam, just jump in there and do it, because that's part of it too, is to learn how the process works and go through it. The results, passing isn't always the goal. It's also to learn and to familiar yourselves with the exam taking platform. So thanks for sticking around with us. This has been great fun. I appreciate being a guest.
Anytime, Kristján. Maybe next time I do an ACH, I'll pull you in. We can learn about Loom together.
I like it.
All right, folks. Have a great Tuesday wherever you are. We're going to see our outro music, and I look forward to seeing you all again here somewhere soon. Dankar, thank you for joining. Danny, good to see you.
Systems shouldn't get in our way. They should help us do our job, but learning those tools can feel heavier than it should. Too many topics, too many best practices, especially in the ever-changing Atlassian ecosystem. Not here. You're tuned in to the only frequency that doesn't crash your spirits or your Jira board. Atlassian Learning, simplified.
Welcome to Heen.tech. Heen.tech for your learning needs. Heen.tech. Less noise, more clarity. Heen.tech. Fix the system, fix the flow. Heen.tech. Ready, let's go!